Hey, welcome to the channel. For those who don't know me, I do videos on car buying and my 2018 Charger Hellcat. My name is Luke, and I work for a dealership in Florida. So if you see anything that you like, that was quick. You must have been right there. If you see anything you like or want to deal with me, I can basically sell anybody just about anything at or under invoice with no dealer fees, no hassles, all that kind of good stuff. So hit me up. Today we're doing something a little bit different. I am going to be drinking a cold one. So if you got a brew, go grab it now and we can have one together. And I'll wait till everybody else jumps in. The residuals just changed today. Don't know if they actually changed, but they were updated. So, and I haven't done a video this week, so might as well do it. It's Friday. I don't work this weekend. So, Brand, this is what I'm doing, Brandy. All right, that works too. You know, this was easy. I can do vodka or rum, but I'll have me a cold brew. Hellcat forecast for March. Is that when you're getting one? Let that head go down a little bit. How's everybody doing? Gonna have my honey roasted peanuts too. Gotta have the peanuts. What kind of light beer do you guys drink? I'm not the usual. I don't like Bud Light. I like me a good old Miller. I think it's like the best light beer. It's actually got flavor. Yeah, my car. Let me tell you what about my car. I'm actually missing my car. Well, obviously I would, right? But man, I assume everybody can hear me, right? My car has been at the shop since Monday, and I called it on what they were going to give me. I might do a little video on it tomorrow or over the weekend or something, but on my rental car. But I was like, watch them give me a freaking Hyundai Elantra, and swear to God, it's a Hyundai Elantra. So I just I grabbed it, literally drove it straight home, parked it, and hopped in my Miata. And I've been driving my Miata all day, or all week, even when it's been the coldest in Florida all winter season, but I'm still driving the Miata. The nice thing about that one is it's unlike my previous Miata, it was it's actually like a real car. It's got heat and air conditioning and everything works. So, you know, I can just turn on the heat and I'm fine, but I do not put the top down in the morning. My car is supposed to be done Monday. It sucks because it's basically done right now, but they were just waiting for, like, the paint just got done today. So, you know, they want it to cure and all that kind of good stuff, and then go over it, make sure everything's good on Monday and detail it, and then let me take delivery of it. So it sucks because I got to go the whole weekend without it, but, you know, hey, it is what it is. So my diffuser, he didn't realize that it wasn't stock, and he noticed that it was broken a little bit from the previous install because I took it off of my Scat Pack. And if anybody has ever seen those Icon diffusers, they look great. I think they're the best looking OEM style diffusers out there, but they're paper thin. So when you take the tabs out, they pretty much always either break off or you end up breaking it. And I ended up splitting it, and I had a buddy fix it. And anyway, he saw the little crack in it, and he ended up trying to order me another one from the factory. Of course, I work at the dealership, and I was like, oh yeah, hey man, that's an aftermarket one. So anyway, I had a little bit of problems there, and I said, look, if it'll just go back on, because when he took it off, he saw some tabs were missing, and I was like, look, man, if it'll just go back on, just put it back on. But I guess he already sent the money to the adjuster, so that he might be able to get me the money for the factory diffuser, which was like $140 or something. He said he might just give me the check for it or something if they ended up still giving him the money. So that's cool. run it into the dirt. You know what? Excuse me. It's funny you say that because I had all these grand plans of getting the Hyundai and or whatever the rental car was, and just going out and just ripping it apart and freaking e-brake turning and all this stuff like that, making a video. Obviously, probably not a good idea because it's on video. The other thing is, though, my luck, you know, it's like I'll do something stupid or, you know, hit a curb or, you know, just my luck, you know. And they're like, yeah, would you like to take the insurance for 12 days? I'm like, or $12 a day. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm going to park this bitch. So anyway, I think that's what I'm just going to do. And, you know, exactly. Or, you know, I'll take it to go get groceries or something and a freaking cart will run into it. And then I'll have to end up paying for it. So I'd rather, if I'm driving something, it just be my own stuff. So anyway, let's get down to it. So I'm going to move you guys over here. Come on. All right. And see if anything has changed. Where are we at here? All right. Well, that first sip was good. Hang on just a second. Cheers. All righty. Now, usually when things are updated, they'll have a yellow highlight on what was updated. And really, the only thing it looks like they updated was some package numbers and some fiats. But you know what? For the new people that are here or catch the video, I'm going to go over them anyway. And you know what? We're just here to hang out and chat, you know? So it's cool with me. All right, 2019 Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. Looks like it's the same, I think. 0.00018. They are still 24-month and 36-month leases. And the 36-month residual is 56%. I think that's the same. There is still an acquisition fee of $595. Now, of course, for the people, you know, new to it, the residual that's for 15,000 miles. You get a 2% bump for 12,000 miles. So it's 58. And then you get a 3% total bump for 10,000 miles. So it'd be 59% residual. So, good numbers. I mean, it doesn't really get that much lower as far as the money factor. I mean, obviously it can, but 0.00018 is like less than 1% of interest, and 56% residual is pretty good for a 2019. Now, when I bought my Charger, it was 62%, but still for a new 2019, that's pretty darn good money. So still a good time to buy for a new one. Since we're on the Challengers, Scat Packs, still not looking that great. 0.00182. You know, they're just not backing off those Scat Packs. I think it's that just because they know they're popular now and they did a good job marketing in them, and they're a fantastic car for the money, but they're trying to keep that, you know, just because it's the interesting thing, just because it's $30,000 less, excuse me, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be that much less on a lease. So, and that's how they play with that. They play with it with the money factor or the residual. Residual is still 57%. So that's really good. And there's actually no acquisition fee on a Scat Pack Challenger. You know, so if they could only get that money factor around the same, like 0.00018, and they kept the residual the same, it's a good time to get one. Would not recommend doing it yet unless you absolutely had to do it. 2019 Charger Hellcat, a little bit less than the Challenger 00017, but a 58% starting residual. So it's a couple points higher than 56, which was the Challenger. So the Charger is holding up a little bit better there. As far as the Scat Pack, the money's getting a little bit better there, 0.00096, but only a 51% residual. So see what they did there? It's interesting. They can play with the numbers however you want. So you can't just look at one number and be like, oh, that's lower than last month. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a good overall lease. Good time to buy a Redeye. You know, that's going to be a tough one, because I think for the Redeyes, it's going to just come down to, you know, I made a video on what is a good time to buy. You should check it out. But I think it's really going to come down to, the thing is, they're rated the same as a Hellcat. So last year, the only thing they separated for Hellcats was wide body. They actually had a separate residual money factor for wide body versus non-wide body. Now they're not doing that this year. So Redeye is not on a different playing field than Hellcat as of right now. So the money is actually good on it. You know, I just went over that 0.00018 and 56% residual. That's pretty good. But it's still leasing high because of the cost of the vehicle. So, I mean, standard Hellcats, you know, around 70 grand, where, you know, those are going to be pushing 80. So if every grand is worth close to $30 a month in payment, well, that's a considerable jump. I mean, you're going up almost $200, if not more, in payment, just because it's a Redeye. So I would really do one of two things: just wait, or wait. You know, if you don't want to pay the big money, because they're not going to be leasing cheap right now. That's for sure. I think the last one I did was over $1,000, you know, as a lease. So anyway, I would wait until they're either aged, you know, like a little bit later this year. You pick up a 2019 right before the 2020s are going to come out. That's the time to get it. You know, it's been sitting on a dealer lot since the day they came out, you know, or something like that. And then they're going to come down off that price. Then you might be able to get it for close to a regular Hellcat, you know, lease, you know, or something like that. So that's what I would do, to be quite honest. Well, on an unlimited Rubicon, we can check those out. Since all the 2018s are not incentivized anymore, I don't even have to go over those. So, you know, the Rubicons, or the Jeeps in general, are usually leasing pretty damn good. Tell you what, if I needed a Jeep, I would buy a freaking Jeep. They are just ridiculous on resale. Absolutely ridiculous. It's like the one car that you're just not going to lose your ass on. Well, it was rated SUV of the year, and it's the second overall. It's the highest residual SUV of all, you know, out of everybody. And it's the overall second most highest residual value out of every vehicle ever. And I think the first one's like a Toyota Tacoma or something like that. So they're just nuts. All right. So, yeah, I mean, Rubicon, 61% residual. There is no acquisition fees. Now, the Jeep Wranglers have a standard money factor. And I can tell you what that excuse me, what that is in just a second. Beer's getting to me. So if it's 61%, you know, the sports are the ones that have the stupid residuals. Oh my God, listen to this. A regular sport has a 70% residual. A 70% residual. And it's the cheapest model. You could probably lease a 4-door 2019 JL Sport for like $300 with those kind of numbers. If you did a 10,000 mile lease, you could probably do, it's a 73% residual. That's insane. Insane. Rubicon is actually the lowest out of all of them. It's 61%, but still 61% is still a good number. So let me go get you the money factor, because it's a different rate. It's not incentivized, basically. So I have to look for the standard rate, but it still works out to be good because the residual is so good. Standard lease program. All right. For Jeep Wranglers, for tier 1 credit, the money factor is 0.00228. 0.00228. So I can't tell you exactly like what the lease would be. You can hit me up in my email via email, and if you find one, I can tell you what the lease is. But I don't do that on the live stream because it takes a little bit of calculating and all that good stuff. But yeah, Wranglers, really good to lease. Sport S is another. Sport S was like 67%. I mean, it's just stupid residual. It makes me want to just get one because it'd be so cheap to lease it. And I can just go off-roading with it for a couple $100 a month. My buddy just bought his dream Jeep, a Sport S. He's already got it. Some Fox shocks on it, lifted, and tires and wheels, and it's a nice ride. We broke it in over the weekend. It's cool. I almost made a video of it, but those things are nasty. So nasty and so refined now. He had a 93 Jeep we took out, and I mean, it was just like a tin can beaten, and your teeth would knock out here. You knock your teeth out. This thing, it's like a Cadillac going through the dang woods now. It's ridiculous. Those things are so awesome. Do you think the Redeye is worth the extra money? No, honestly, I don't. What was it, 70 horsepower or something like that? 787, 797. I don't think it's worth it at all, to be honest, because it's like, what is it, like $11,000 more or something like that just for 80 horsepower, or 90 horsepower. That's kind of ridiculous. Then if you want a wide body, I mean, that's one thing. It's wide body is a wide body. It's going to cost you $6,000 MSRP anyway. But for that horsepower, no. For crying out loud, I don't know if you've ever driven a Hellcat, but I mean, 707 is quite a bit. There's that point to where you're not doing yourself any good if you don't get any tires. And even with tires, you're hardly getting any traction to begin with. You're adding more horsepower. You're not really doing anything with it. So you're going to be in a constant battle with fighting your grip. So when I first got the car, it was almost annoying. I was like, why the hell did I sell my Scat Pack for this when I can't even go anywhere with it? A lot of my fun is 0 to 60, pulling out on the road, hauling ass, then slowing down, you can't do that in a factory Hellcat. I mean, you've got to have some meat on the back. So to just take the regular stock tires and then add another 90 horsepower, well, it's no fun. Plus you could easily take that like a couple grand and make it have more horsepower than the Redeye. So I honestly don't think it's worth the money. I just think it's, I love Dodge, obviously, but it's just I think it's just a thing they're doing to kind of get some more money, and just like the 1320 edition, it's a freaking Scat Pack with they took seats out of it and, added the trans brake and stuff like that. It's just like someone said, it's just kind of them grabbing for money, which, that's fine, whatever, people want to buy it, but I don't think it's worth the money. Remy, question, how far can you go back when leasing a car? I've been to dealers around here in Cali and none of them would lease a 1-year-old car. Is there a law for that? No, there's not a law for it. It's just what happens is they get unincentivized. And that's actually what's happened to the 2018s now. So all these numbers that I'm talking about are incentivized. For example, when the Jeep isn't incentivized, for example, it's a 0.00228 money factor, 0.00228, and how you convert that to an interest rate that most people can, relate to. You times it by 2,400, so that's basically 5.5% interest. Now, that's not the best interest rate going, but it's not the worst. But to give you an example on what a good money factor is, 0.00018, like on the Hellcats, times 2,400, it's 0.432. That's probably backwards. Is that backwards for you guys? I don't know, because I see it backwards. Anyway, it's less than 0.5% of interest. So they end up leasing terrible, basically. So if you go to lease a vehicle that is no longer incentivized, it's just not even worth it. It ends up being like you might as well have just bought it. So that's why the dealers say they just won't do it, because you're not gonna want to see the numbers anyway. I hope that made sense. If that makes sense. What's up, Eurosweed? Carlos, yeah, no problem. I'm all about my honest opinions, man. You get to know me. I'm real straightforward, and I'll tell you how it is. Sometimes people think I'm an ass because of that, but I really don't hold back. I'm not gonna say I've been through so much, but I mean, I've always been the nice guy. And you know, when you're that guy, you get taken advantage of a lot. And you know, I'm to the point in my life where basically, screw you. You know, I'm kind of telling people how it is and that kind of thing. I'm not an ass all the time, but if you need me to be an ass, I'll be an ass. Oh, Mad Villain, what up? How much for a lease monthly payment on a 19 Hellcat Charger with Tier 1 credit, and would you need a down payment? No, you don't need a down payment. All that does is just, to answer your first question, you don't need a down payment on a lease. It just helps with the monthly payment. That's it. And if you're a little bit newer to leasing, you really should check out my other, I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, but you should check out my other video on what you don't know about leasing, part 1 and 2, because there's a lot of really good information in there that a lot of people don't know about leasing. You don't have to put a down payment. It just helps with the monthly payment. That's it. It doesn't help you get approved more or less if you've already got good credit. The thing is, the main thing to think about with a down payment on a lease is if something happens to the lease, like it gets totaled or stolen, you do not get that money back. So yes, your insurance company is going to take care of the remaining amount of the lease, but they do not compensate you for your down payment. So you just be prepared for that. Man, that's tough to say. You know, again, I'll put my email. I always usually put my email in the chat here, and you can just email me. I'm not going to get back to anybody probably till Monday, possibly Tuesday. And I'd be more than happy to just shoot you a lease quote on a vehicle that you found, or if you're in Florida, I can help you out. But Hellcat Charger right now with the decent money, if you did no money down, you're probably going to be in the 700s if somebody sold it to you at invoice. But that's really not bad for a brand new 2019 with no money down. Again, every $1,000 you put down is probably going to take off about $30 a month of the payment. Would a 19-year-old with Tier 1 qualify for a lease with a thin credit file? It's going to be tough. It would depend. Is that you? Because it would depend on if you've ever had any other car credit. If you've never had any other car credit, slim chance, to be quite honest. You really got to have a pretty decent credit profile to lease. I'm not saying anything's possible, but it's just they really want you to have a decent credit file going. They definitely want you to have auto credit, previous auto credit. So really, you're just going to have to try. That's all I can say. I mean, it's not really going to hurt. You're either going to end up probably buying something or leasing something anyway. So, just you got to start small, man. I mean, don't feel bad if someone's 19 or you're 19, man. I don't know what to say about that, but I've saved up all my own money, my own credit, and I ended up getting my first dream car when I was 20. And that was an SRT4 Neon, and it was 15 grand, So, getting a $70,000 car when you're 19, don't feel bad, man. No problem, Mad Villain. Euro Speed. My lease is up in June on my 392. Nice. I'm keeping it going to finance it. I have my lease with Teachers Federal Credit Union through the dealership. What should I do? Call TCFU. What finance is? Okay, if I get your question, you kind of want me to, wonder what the finance is, or what it's going to be to finance it. What you can buy the car for is established at the beginning of your lease. So you should have that paperwork somewhere if you still have your original buyer's order. That's called the residual value. So that's actually what we're talking about here, residual values and all that kind of stuff. That's how the lease is calculated on what's going to be left when you are done with the lease. So the difference of that is what you're paying during the lease. So that should be in your paperwork somewhere. So you would just basically have to either call your finance. If you want to go with your same credit union, call them and say, hey, what is it? What's your going rate on a, whatever year your car is, 2016, vehicle with my credit. And then they should be able to give you an idea. Yeah, man. I mean, it's no big deal. I don't know if you were looking, tier 1 with the credit. I don't know what exactly you're looking for, Jay, but they're all good cars, man. I mean, any Charger, Challenger, they're all fun. Even the RTs, man. I went from an RT, I went to a Dart to an RT, a 2011 RT, then to the Scat Pack, then to the Hellcat. So baby steps, man. They're all good looking and fun. I mean, you can get good deals on used. Oh, Hellcat. Yeah. All right. Well, used ones are going to be about 50 grand as long as you got the cashola. And they're going to want a lot of it unless you got some serious income. They're going to, I'm going to do a video on how buys are structured, buys as in buying cars, on, how you get approved, and then what it usually takes and what goes into all these factors. So I think I'm going to do a video eventually on that, because that's a big gray area. We just got a law passed in Cali. What is your law, Remy? I mean, I know about that exhaust law or something like that. I couldn't live in California. I like my guns and cars too much. Trying to find out if I should stick with TCU. Oh yeah. Well, hey, Euro, when you're looking, just go look, man. I mean, the thing is, the dealer is not a really bad place to go if you know what the going rates are. So you just don't get screwed. Excuse me, because dealers can bump the rate a little bit. I mean, that's how we make our money, and it's kind of like a convenience fee almost, it's just like you can get approved and sign papers in 15 minutes. Whereas if you go to a bank, you got to bring them all the stuff, and you got to wait, and you got to, hope they call you back and all this stuff. And then maybe you'll get a little bit cheaper rate. So you can ask around at the dealer when you want to go buy the car from the dealer. When your lease is up, they can search all their loan, all of their, lenders, and get their best rate and say, hey, look, man, I'm going to be shopping. I have my own credit union. And what you can do is do your credit union first. This might actually be the easiest thing. Do your credit union first, see what they're going to give you, and then just tell that to the dealer. I was like, hey, look, I've already got approved at my credit union for 4.99. If you can match that or beat it, I'll finance with you. And they're going to want to do that because that's going to make them more money. That's actually counting for a unit for them as well. So it gives them a little bit of incentive to try to get you a lower rate. Navy Fed. Okay, cool. So you must be in the military or Navy or something like that. They're great. I mean, you can't beat the federal stuff, man. Shoot, I got PenFed. I have a loan through PenFed, and they're just ridiculous on pre-owned cars. They're great. Their rates are so low and easy to deal with. Slim Hardway says, if I was to spec a car online, does it need to be approved and paid for before it's built? No. Now, of course, that depends on the dealer. Technically, no, though. Like if we were to order one for a customer, we only have been requiring a $100 deposit. But every dealer is different. And ours is even refundable. Some require a $500 non-refundable. Some will require $1,000. That's totally going to be up to the dealer. on what they want to do. So if you're in Florida, I can help you out. Or if you're going to buy something, I can help you out, and we can work out transportation. Let me know. I need to do a video on Jewing cars. What the heck? Where's my hype man tonight? Usually I got my hype man on. He must be busy. It's Sean. All right, Sean, what's up? Let me see what it is. It's Sean. I'm wondering which Sean. I probably know you or something. Are you I bet you I know who you are now. 18 Hellcat red car. Still not clicking. Gives you $1,000 fine for a car louder than 95 decibels. I think it's a rip for V8s. Yeah. I wonder how. I've always wanted to get a decibel meter to see what, just for fun and having guns and stuff in cars and see what they register. I mean, I had the mufflers cut off my Hellcat. It's pretty damn loud. I bet you would probably go over 95 decibels. Or with any modified muffler. Is that what it is? Oh, gosh. I don't know how you guys live out there. There's plenty of hot chicks in Florida. Do I have to go to the dealer, or can I talk directly to TFCU, to who I am sending my lease payments to right now? Oh, Frankie, there you are. Dude, did you just come on? Because your ears must have been burning. I just said, where's my hype man? He's usually on here. All right. So, if you're going to talk to your lender, you need to go right to the lender. If the dealer doesn't, coerce with that lender, then you just need to talk to them first, if that's who it's with now. And then get that rate, and then go back to the dealer and see what they can get you. Funk Soul. Hey, what up, man? How you been? We need to start going to the gym, dude. When are we going to start going to the gym? Look at this thing. Not that that's really going to help. Yeah, the only thing about the app on the phone, I don't think it's really accurate, because I know that the microphones on the phones they can clip at a earlier rate than like a good microphone. So I don't really know how accurate they are, or they're going to have a peak limit. I know real decibel meters. I'm sure you probably worked with them at some point. I know that they have a lot higher tolerance and probably a little bit more accuracy, and I'm sure they're probably not that much money. I just thought it'd be cool, because I've done one of those apps before and shooting guns, and it always seemed to just clip at a certain spot, certain number. It would never go over. The beer's actually pretty good, but it's getting low, so I'm about to go. I don't know if I might have to take a break and go run to the fridge and get another one. Like right now. It's about 115 on a cold start. Oh, is that a Hellcat or a Scat Pack? Scat Packs rip it up. I just need to move you guys over here. I'm not even doing anything on the residuals anymore. I'm just hanging out now. It's good for us. Are you adding the dual inlets to your grill? I've thought about that. I've been going back and forth. I've priced it. It's actually cheap. And all I wanted to know was if one of the inlets actually went to the airbox. And I've had someone say yes, but he couldn't exactly explain it, because I was like, hey, well, is the airbox, can I use my stock airbox, or do I have to get the airbox inlet from a 19, or whatever it is, or can I just replace the grill and then all of a sudden the thing connects? Like, I just needed to know a little bit more. And I looked at the schematics at work, and I couldn't really tell. Like, it shows the little tunnel coming from the airbox to the, but that's it. It just shows, it's a schematic. So it's just the airbox, the little hole that comes out, and then it doesn't exactly show it going into the grill. So, for just the lack of things that I'll probably be able to do to the car, I probably will eventually do it. It's just not first on the list right now. I think I really want to get my vinyl work done and my skirt kit put on next. There'll be a video coming soon for that. I think really, really soon I'm going to be getting my vinyl done and the skirt kit on it. So I want to do that first, and then maybe I'll do that. All right. So I don't know if it's Skyvenge or Skivenge or SK11Venge says, can you lease 2 vehicles at once? Say a Hellcat and a Jeep. Yeah, I mean, you can. It just depends on your income and credit. Usually the banks don't want to give out more than 1 loan per person on an average income. So that's all going to come down to all the normal factors. What's your credit like? What's your income like? How much money down do you put? What are your other bills? What are your utilities? How much rent are you paying? It's going to all come down to that, whether or not you can lease 2 vehicles. So it's hard to just say yes or no, but yes, it is possible. It just depends on your credit and income. Same thing goes for buying vehicles. You know, they don't want to give out more than 1 loan per person usually. That's why whenever you have 2, like you're married, they always want the other, significant other as the cosigner, because it's technically 2 people, 2 incomes, that kind of stuff. Y'all know you like that shirt. The original smart car right there, baby. The Hoff. Grew up watching that stuff. I hope half these people probably don't even know what it is. I'm planning on buying my Scat Pack at the end of the lease this May. 4 more payments. U.S. Bank charges $350 fee for the buy. The end of the lease. Anyway, they would negotiate this fee. Yes. That's up to the dealer. You know, they can, when you're buying the lease from the dealer, they're kind of reconfiguring it so they can kind of just be like, you know, especially if you're gonna be financing through them, be like, look, I'll do it, but you're gonna eat that fee. That's all part of a negotiation that you can try to do. You know, in the grand scheme of things, if they're going to be making some money on the financing, you know, it shouldn't be that big of a deal for them to pay the $350. Now they might say that, oh, that's not us. That's through U.S. Bank. That's fine. But what they can do is still, they can work it out. You know, they can basically put it in the deal as they're giving you another $350 off, and they're going to write the check to U.S. Bank. You know, there's ways to do it. So yeah, I would say, you know, $350 wouldn't be the end of the world to give you a discount. Rami has a random question of why there is no convertible Challenger. No idea, man. I've seen some of the, you know, conversion kits out there, and you know, they're all right, but I don't know, man. It doesn't look right. They'd have to do a really, really good job of doing it, because it looks okay when it's down, but with the top up, it just doesn't look good. Of course, it's almost like anything, isn't it? You know, because my Miata don't really look that great with the top up, but it looks good with the top down. Unless it's a hard top, you know, that's when it looks better. It's got the smooth edges. But no, I don't know, man. I guess they just maybe didn't have enough people wanting it, or didn't think there was enough demand for it, I guess, is, you know, because we, you know, as a company, we tend to listen to the customers, you know, as you know, we're building the Jeep pickup, and, you know, we try to listen to our customers a lot. And I don't know, really. I can't really answer that question. That's my thoughts on it. Yeah, Frankie, the grill. Yeah, it's like under $90. Yeah, I think my cost was like $60 or $70. Yeah, it's pretty cheap. No problems, Kevenge. Oh, what the heck happened? Personally, I'm not a big fan of those inlet grill look. Yeah, Night Rider. See, and that's where I'm on the fence. I'm like, when it first came out, I was like, ugh, it just looks like a pig or something like that. And I was like, I don't care about that. Why do they do that? And it's one of those things that kind of grows on you. It's almost like the dual snorkel hood on the new Hellcat Challengers. At first glance, you're like, oh, you're not so sure about it. But when you see it in person, you're like, okay, well, that doesn't look so bad. And then the more you see it, you're like, okay, that looks pretty sweet. And it kind of grows on you. It's weird. I think that's what's happening with the dual nostrils. Like, because we have a Challenger Scat Pack, Charger Scat Pack, on our lot, Daytona, and it's got the dual snorkels. And I keep seeing it. And I'm like, you know what? It doesn't look bad. It looks pretty sweet. So that's why I haven't just jumped to the first opportunity, because obviously it's $70 or whatever. I could have just done it. But that's one of the main reasons is I'm still kind of on the fence. I'm not sure if I really want to do it. So we'll see. But like I said, if I run out of stuff to do with the car, other than tearing into the engine and doing stuff that takes it out of warranty, I just might. I mentioned this earlier in the feed if you weren't on. My car is getting fixed Monday. It's technically done today, but the paint was done today. So they want it to, of course, cure and then do all that stuff and sit a little bit before they detail it and then give it to me Monday. So they said it's going to be Monday. It sucks because it would have been nice to have it for the weekend. Honestly, man, I'm missing the car. I miss my car a lot. You don't realize it until it's not there. I've been driving my Miata all week, and I love my Miata, but it's one of those things that it's the sidecar. It's when I want to change it up a little bit. But now that I've been driving it every day, I miss my car a lot. Yeah, Frankie. It kind of grows on you, like I said. Eurospeed has a question. How many months before should I call the lender when I'm going to finance the car after the lease? And can I start out by asking them if they can do the same finance payment than my lease payment is? Well, no, not really. That's all going to be math. That's really just what it comes down to, and your residual value. And you can pretty much do that. There's hundreds of payment calculators out there. It's not really that hard. Even if you just take, now, yes, you probably could easily get it close to what your payment is, depending on what that is. It's just going to take longer to pay it off. So, obviously. So, I heard something. I think it's a motorcycle. Because depending on the car, if you've got $25,000 left or whatever, or $20,000 left, you could easily get a $300 payment or $400 payment, with that, but you would just extend the term. So if that's what you really want to do, all you got to do is put it into a payment calculator and say, okay, well, I want my payment to be $400. Well, punch in your residual amount, whatever the interest rate is that they're going to give you, times your payments, and then just work that until your payment is where you want your payment to be, because you're going to have to pay the taxes on the residual amount at the time of the sale. So you got to factor that in as well. But yeah, it's easily doable because most of the car has usually been paid for, depending on which car you leased. And as far as when you should call them, doesn't matter. I mean, you can wait till a week before you do it, as long as you know what's going on and have the money to do it and all that kind of stuff. Because you can put more money down if you wanted to make your payment less as well. Like when you go to buy it, it's just like you're buying a regular car. If you have a little bit of money saved up and you want to make that payment lower to where you can pay it off sooner, you can put money down when you go to buy the car. So it's just all like starting over, but you were the one driving the car for the first 3 years. Looking to purchase in 10 months after lease is done. 2018 or 19 Hellcat Challenger. Your thoughts on an 84-month finance? I financed my Scat Pack for 84 months. Thing is, if you've got good enough credit, it's really not that big of a difference, especially if you're just trying to keep the payments low and then you throw some money at it whenever you get the extra money. You know, that's not really that bad of an idea, because the interest rate between 84 and a 72 was like 0.5% or something. It really wasn't that big at the time because I have good credit. So if the jump isn't that much of a difference, usually they can tell you what the difference between a 72 and an 84 is. If it's not that much different and you just want to keep your payment low, I like having a low payment in case of emergencies. You know, if I was just running short 1 month and I needed, or, you know, something happened and I needed a little bit extra more cash, you know, I have it. So I have a little bit more flexibility, and they're all simple car notes. You can just put more money down in the middle of the month and help pay it down. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with doing an 84-month term. You know, everyone like frowns upon it and all that, but I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. And you can do calculators on if you really do just plan to pay 84 months, all the way to the end, you can do car payment calculators out there, and they'll tell you the amount of interest that you. Oh, that's oh, that's Sean. Dang, hey, you've only had the car for like a day. My bad, Sean. I just now looked at my phone. If you're even still on here, the wolf. If y'all have Android, it might be on iPhone as well. I'll tell you a really good payment calculator that I found that is really accurate, and I'll show it to you real quick. And it tells you the interest. You can put in dealer fees. You can put in your term and all that kind of stuff. Let me see. Okay, so it looks cheesy. Let's see if I can get it out of my light there. And hopefully it's not backward to you guys. There it is. Auto car loan payment calculator. Okay, and it looks like that. If you guys can see it, it's like a blue car with a dollar sign. It's actually really. I bought the Pro version just because, I mean, it's like $1 or something stupid, and it just doesn't. And you can totally use the free version. I forget what it is that you get with the Pro version, but I just wanted to support them because it's a really easy app. Focus, baby. Focus. Anyway, it says, I will buy from a dealer or I will buy from an individual. So just looking at this, you can have it puts in the price. Oh, come on now. You just focused really good before. There it is. Oh, there it is. So you can put in the price of the car, the trade-in value, the rebates, what your down payment is, if they've got any dealer fees. You can put in their miscellaneous, you know, taxes, the sales tax rate, the interest rate, you know, your loan payoff, and then your term. And then when you hit calculate payment, it tells you not only your payments, but then what the total amount of interest that you paid. So that's an awesome way to like figure out like how much interest that you would pay versus, you know, an 84 month versus a 72 month. I use that thing all the time because it's just a quick way to kind of do a quick calculation on buying cars. I'm going to need another beer here, guys. You guys are going to have to chat with yourself for about 30 seconds. How are the Scat Pack leases looking? You missed that earlier in the stream, which you can go back and watch it, I guess, when it's done, but not the greatest yet. Challengers. Chargers are, they're getting there. I think it was 0.00096 as far as the money factor, but the Challengers are still 0.00198 or something like that. They're just not that great right now. Honestly, I'd still hang out a little bit for the Scat Pack Challengers. What would lease payment be on a new Rubicon? I went over the Rubicons earlier in the stream. They do have a good lease number right now, but I don't calculate payments because it all depends on you know, what Rubicon you get, how much equipment you get, and then what the dealer, whoever it is going to sell it to you, is going to sell it to you for. But with standard money down on a Rubicon, let's just say it's a $45,000 Rubicon, and you had like standard money down, let's just say $2,000 or something to throw at it. I mean, you could probably get it for in the 400s. They're leasing really good right now. But if you scroll up through the chat or hit me up at quix09@gmail, I'll help you out if you got a VIN number, QUIX09@gmail, and I can do it on Monday for you. Yeah, well, Giovanni, everything is, right? It's always subjective to the officer that wants to be a dick or not. Take a shower and wind down. Have a good night. All right. Take a second to hit that like button. All right. Thanks, Frankie. I'll see you later, bud. All right. What's your recommended limit money down on a Scat Pack? Earlier in the live stream, what I said was, well, now are you talking about, Taylor? You're asking about what's your recommended limit for money down on a Scat Pack? Is that for a lease or for a buy? Let me see. Thoughts on buying from a lease. So I mentioned it earlier in the stream, if you didn't catch it or not. The money down thing is totally up to you. It doesn't help you get approved or anything like that, really. It's just to lower your payment. So if they give you a payment, you know, and a lot of times, usually what you do is you just ask the dealers to give me, what's my payment going to be with no money down? That way, you know, their bare minimum, they're not using any of your money down as like profit. So just say, I want my no money down price. What is it? And then you can kind of go from there, because every $1,000 you put down is usually about $30 a month in payment. So that's all it does, is just lower your payment. The risk factor in putting money down on a lease is, if something happens to the car, like it's totaled or stolen, you do not get that money back that you put down. So the insurance is going to cover the car. They're going to pay off the rest of it. That's fine. But if you put any money down, they do not cover your money down. So that's the risk that you take in putting money down. I put money down because it was a risk I was willing to take, because I just wanted a lower payment. And, you know, I'm just going to take that chance that I've really never had anything like that happen. God forbid it does. But, you know, I've got my lower payment, and that's what I wanted. So the money down thing is totally up to you. Remy says, when you're trying to decide whether to lease or buy, how do you go about credit tiers? Like, what makes up you get, oh, you might as well buy it versus. Yeah. You know, I was going to do a video on that too, you know, about credit tiers. And really, it's going to come down to working both situations. So whatever dealer is helping you out and they've got your credit on file, it's going to be up to the dealer on, you know, which, not up to the dealer, but, you know, up to what deals they work out for you. You know, so if you end up being, let's just say a tier 3 on a lease, well, and that bumps your payment to some astronomical number to where it's the same to just buy the vehicle, or where the buy price might work out a little bit better, then obviously that's what you do, or you can just choose to do whichever way you want to do it. It takes a lot of calculating. You know, you just got to look at every different perspective when you're going, if you're borderline credit on a lease. Sometimes you might not get approved at all on a lease if you're borderline credit. You've usually got to have at least above a 650 to even consider leasing. And then even then, you're going to be kind of like a bottom tier lease usually. So you want to be above 700s usually to lease, to get a good deal from leasing. So I'm just still waiting for you to buy a car from me, man. Y'all hold on for 30 seconds. Never put cash down on a lease ever, ever, ever. See, that's what he says. Nah, he knows why. Go get a beer. Got it. I'm back. Did you guys miss me? Can you hear it? Yeah. Oh yeah, that was for you guys. Cheers. This is what my Saturday nights. This is what my Friday. This is what my Friday nights have become. That's okay, because this is okay. You guys are cool. I like hanging out with you because I'm not really hanging out with you, and I don't have to put up with your shit if I don't want to. Trying to decide whether or not lease back. Stephanie, you mentioned that you do not lease for out-of-state buyers, but how about buying from New Jersey? I really like the way you think that is interesting. Yeah, I mean, I can sell to anybody really. So, you know, because what we do is we just go by the laws and the taxes from that state. So it's basically like we just do the paperwork at our dealership. Sometimes there's certain states that we even have to send the paperwork to them, or we have to call them to, you know, kind of make sure all the tax reciprocity laws are followed and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, I can basically sell to just about anybody. It gets a little bit complicated when there's states that are, you know, require inspections. So I don't know if New Jersey is an inspection state, but it's a lot more workable than a lease. And it's unfortunate because I do a lot of leasing stuff on my channel. Maybe one day I can. But with leasing, you basically have to be a dealer in that state, and you've got to have the software to do their leases, and you've got to have their, like I said, you've got to have all, and then every state's tax reciprocity laws, they all have to be, it sucks to lease. It's very complicated to lease to somebody out of state. So only big dealers usually do it because it costs money as well. Because it's like the program that you use to do the lease is like, it's like $400 for every state or something like that. And then they got to get trained on how to do a lease in that state because it's all different. And we're a small dealer. So, you know, they really don't bother with doing that, unfortunately. Excuse me. But yeah, man, if you want to buy something, I sold something to somebody in North Carolina, only because we had an older SRT Grand Cherokee and he saw it on Auto Trader or something. He's like, I want that car because it was a, you know, one owner, low mileage, that kind of thing. And did the whole thing over the phone, internet, text, mailed in the paperwork. He got the arrangements for the pickup and we were good. A lot of people, you can always fly down and drive the thing back too if you want. Do car salesmen get paid by commission? I really hope so. I have heard of some places that pretty much do like a flat as far as commissions go. You know, like they get $100 or something like that, which hell, a lot of new cars are only $100 anyway. But yeah, I mean, 95% of salesmen get paid by commission. Mm-hmm. Have I talked about the Jeeps? A little bit. Jeep Wranglers. Yeah. That's cool, man. I'm here to chat and here to talk. You're just jumping in, just ask me questions. There's not a whole lot of changes on the residuals. So, you know, this is more of a question and answer for the rest of the time. Cool. Looking for a 2018 wide body, hell meow, or 2019 as long as it is manual. Well, it depends on if you're going to, oh wait, was this me? Oh yeah. Buying one. Okay. Wide body. I don't know how many wide bodies are left. As long as it's manual, I'll tell you what, since we're just hanging out, let me look it up. I can find out real quick whether or not it's going to be a 18 or 19. I have access to basically look in the back end of the entire Chrysler system for all the vehicles that are on the ground and in transit to anywhere in the country. So Challenger, oops, should have typed in Hellcat. Let me go back here. Challenger SRT Hellcat. All right, and you want possibly a 2018. There's 16 left in Florida that I have access to, and you want a stick. There's 2. And I can't get either one of them. So it looks like it's gonna be a 19, buddy. Or we could just order you one. You know, you could just order exactly what you want and just come get it. Yeah, if you got my email. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, if you've hung out this long, for the people that might be new here, you know, I do videos on car buying advice, and I do these usually weekly, where I kind of do a question and answer. I work for a Dodge dealer, and I'm an internet sales manager there, so I have access to a lot of nice information. Work for a dealer that's basically straightforward. We cut all the BS, so we have no dealer fees. So if you need something, hit me up. If you're in Florida, I can help you out. I'm right in the middle of the state, and I do videos on my Hellcat 2018 Charger Hellcat in Indigo Blue as well. So make sure you subscribe, turn on those bell notifications, and leave an eye. Oh, he's got a beer. Yeah, I got a beer. This is actually my second one. Are you just coming in? I wanted somebody else to be drinking with me, but I don't know if anybody else is drinking. There might have been one person earlier who had something I don't drink. I forget what it was. That's good. That's good. The beer, you know, there's some nights where beer's good, and there's some nights where beer's really good. This is one of those really good nights. How much does it take to order a Hellcat wide body? If you're asking me personally from my dealership, I mean, really, it's just about $100. We don't really require, you know, crazy amount down or anything like that. So, you know, as long as we can chat and we kind of get an idea that, hey, you're not just going to flake out. You know, we usually just take about $100. Can you guys hear my fish tank in the background? Apologize. I forgot to take that stupid filter out. Well, my baby's crying. Ooh. Hang on. I'm on stream. Can you see what's wrong with Tenley? Sorry. Should we expect some news on Helmet? Should we expect some news on the elephant? I don't know. I mean, probably not. Whether or not it's going in anything, because it's not, what do they call it? It's not like, what's the word? I mean, it's only meant for vehicles like, what is it, pre 76 or something like that, like because of the emissions. It's not emissions. It's not up to code or whatever like that. So for emissions, so I don't know how, if at all, they're going to be able to fix that. Polishing my car and drinking whiskey water. That sounds disgusting. Sorry, I'm not a whiskey fan, but good for you. At least you're drinking. Would a mid-muffler delete void my warranty? No, you should be good, unless the dealer really wants to be a dick, but you should be fine. Yeah. All C's. It's cool, man. All part of the full-time gig. Not sure if that was a response into something I said. Yeah, I actually have a video of my Hellcat mid-muffler delete where I put the race bullets in, and they are good. And I've got a lot of good audio with high-quality mics and stuff on there too, so you can hear what they sound like: idle, revving up, full throttle, track mode, auto mode, all that kind of good stuff. Oh, the background noise. Well, if you hear it, I can just unplug it. But I know I'm pushing an hour here. What time is it? 10:37. I ain't got nothing to do. Hang on. Oh man. Whew. All right, there. No more fish tank in the background. Saw those videos. Cool. All right, glad you like them. Excuse me. Carlos, do you usually have less leverage to negotiate a lower price when you order one from the dealer? I'm going to say yes, only because the simple fact is they know. I mean, you ordered the vehicle from them, so it's kind of like they feel like they have you by the balls, but not. Yes and no, though. I mean, that's kind of like a poker game in a way, unfortunately, with a lot of dealers. You would try to negotiate the price up front before you do the deal. Now, here's why you do that. 2 reasons. So you're not a dick, and they don't have to be a dick. You guys need to work it out before you order the vehicle, and that's usually what happens, because we're not just going to be like, oh yeah, sure, we'll order that for you, and we have no idea like what your credit's like or who you are or what price. If we're going to order this thing for you, and then you're like, okay, well, I want to pay $6,000 off MSRP, and we're like, get really? So we don't want that surprise, and and you don't want to not get the vehicle you just waited 10 weeks for either. So kind of goes back and forth, really. It's hard to say. Just do it beforehand. Just do the negotiation beforehand. They have the price when you order the vehicle, so you can walk in and build your vehicle the way you want it. They've got the invoice price. They know what this is, blah, 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 blah. So they know the price. They know their profit. There's 100% no reason why you should not be able to negotiate a price before you order the vehicle. So that's what I would do. I see here. How Rami says, how does price or deal matching work? Like, does it have to be the exact car? I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but sometimes dealers aren't up for doing that. That's just a total dealer thing. Price matching. I mean, I don't know. That's just up to the dealer if they want to price match. But the thing about price matching is, especially in this world of fake internet prices, which that's one of my main videos I have on YouTube, of my very first episode on how to buy a car better. Is the title is literally "New Car Prices Are Fake," and it's just because there's so many rebates that are added. They can put whatever the hell they want online as long as they have a little fine print at the bottom. They're just so convoluted and misleading. So it's hard to do the price match thing because you don't really know what you're price matching. If you just call up and be like, yeah, I want you to match this guy's price online. Well, that's a bunch of crap because it's really not the price. The only really way that you could maybe negotiate that whole price matching thing is if you get an out the door from the other buyer or the other dealer. Like you go in there, you sat with them, you found the car, you get an actual out the door buyer's order of what you can take to the finance company with all their fees, all their taxes, and everything on black and white paper. Then you can bring that to the dealer with all their heading, addresses, everything, an official buyer's order, and then you can probably have a chance to do a price match. Then it's still up to the dealer whether or not they want to do it, because every dealer is different. Every dealer, one dealer might be at their number and not care to give you any discounts. The other one might be starving for one more and be willing to come down more off the price of the car. So it's a tough thing to just say that it's not cut and dry, basically. Sorry. Will manufacturers incentivize heavily with the interest hikes? That's true. I believe it. I think that's the way we're going now is leasing. When the rates start going up, leasing becomes the thing to do. So their incentives are already really good. So I see them continue to be good. My neighbor might crash into my car. Yeah, maybe that's why my neighbor's crashing my car. Because my exhaust is facing them every single morning when I start it. Also, he says, if you order it from the factory, does the price change when the car is delivered? That's what price order protection is all about. That's why we take the deposit. Yes, the car price can change from the time that you order it to the time that it's delivered. However, if you have a signed buyer's order of what the price you're going to be paying for the car is, and you give them a deposit, they will keep that price the same. Excuse me. The only thing they can't do is, you don't have to worry about this on SRTs and Hellcats, but if you order a car with rebates, they can only hold the main rebate, which we call on the hood, which is the main bonus cash. They can only hold that rebate. All the other, like Lease Conquest or Northeast bonus cash, all that stuff, you can't hold that. So you can hold the actual price of the vehicle and the main rebate, but of course there's no rebates on Hellcats or SRT products, so you don't have to worry about that part. Yeah, no problem, Olsies. Taylor, what would be a good lease payment for a fully loaded Scat Pack Charger, 12,000 miles a year, 36 months? Whatever you think is good, buddy. I mean, no, honestly, it's I'd have to calculate all that stuff. Like I said, I don't do them on the live streams, but you can shoot me an email and I can do one for you on Monday or Tuesday. But right now the Scat Packs on Chargers, they've lowered a little bit, but they're still not the greatest in the world. Does the color keep changing? I swear I look one way and the color looks like it's changing. They're not the greatest in the world right now, so I'd kind of just wait a little bit on those. Yeah, the color is changing. Why is the white balance going crazy? Probably because I have two different. Anyway, I would wait a little bit on Scat Packs, to be quite honest. They're not leasing too great yet. But I mean, a good lease payment, I guess, would be, it all depends. Money down, no money down. A fully loaded Scat Pack is, over 50 grand. So, since they play with the residuals and the money factor and they don't make him as good as a Hellcat, $500, something like that, in the 500s, would probably be decent. With standard down, $1,500 or $2,000 down or something like that, right around 500 something, would probably be pretty good. Feel like you, Remy. Okay. I lease a car from you, but I got it cheaper from CarMax, for example. That's what I meant. I see. Okay, yeah. Much appreciated. Off-road pipes on your Hellcat? No. I don't know what you want to call them, but they're the Dynamax mini race bullets. So I just took out the mufflers and put those little mini race bullets, which they're just basically like a little resonator, or back in the day, we used to call them cherry bombs. They're only probably yay big. I don't know, probably like a foot. You get them on Amazon for like $25 each, $22 each shipped. I think what it does is just basically keeps the rasp down a little bit. So it keeps them a little bit more tone. Sounds good. I've got a video on it. If you want to check out my other video on my channel, there's a whole video on them. Muffler delete and how it sounds and all that good stuff. Oh. I just found out my baby was scared and she wanted to talk to me. Kids. Is the industry concerned about the 2019 market given the instability and concerns over a recession? Yes and no. We had a pretty rough year last year. Sales were down all over. So hopefully we're looking for a little bit of an increase. Excuse me. This year? But you never know, man. But yeah, I know that the market is getting close to, I know that, when the interest rates keep going up, that it's going to eventually pop. And we'll just see what happens. You know, the car industry's been here forever. So, I mean, we're still going to be here, but, you know, you just can't predict the future as much as you can. Can't predict the future. But you're always concerned every day you go to work in a commission industry. Excuse me. Yeah, tread lightly, I think, gets you friends and family price, which is like 1% under invoice. Mm-hmm. There is a lot of good questions today, and I'm just happy that I can actually answer most of them. That's kind of cool, because I'd hate to leave you guys hanging with no answers. Here in Michigan, everyone has a Lease racing scat pack. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what, I didn't realize how many people leased high-end cars. I mean, it makes sense. All the high-end cars are usually just completely overpriced. BMWs, Mercedes, freaking Cadillacs, you know, all those luxury cars, they're insanely overpriced for what they are. But usually they lease relatively decent. So that's what everybody does, you know, because before I got my Hellcat, I was actually looking into the ATSs a little bit, the ATSV, maybe not so much the CTSV, but the ATSV is a little bad ride, and it just ended up being too small. And plus I work for a Dodge dealer. But, you know, everybody leases their ATSVs pretty much. And, you know, because it's a $70,000 twin turbo V6, small four-door. But I mean, like, a lot of people do. And then when I got the Hellcat, and I've joined all the Hellcat forums, and actually the Hellcat, before I got the Hellcat, I joined the Hellcat.org forums, and there's a thread on there called Hellcat purchasing. And I was like, okay, let me check this out. There's literally nobody that talks about buying a Hellcat. It's all about leasing. It's all about what the residuals are, you know, what the current, you know, if there's no rebates, but money factors and everything. And I was scrolling through, and I'm like, what the hell? Nobody buys a Hellcat. Obviously people do, but I mean, this whole entire thread is literally 90% about leasing. So yeah, there's a lot of people that lease the high-end cars. Makes sense. Seen 56K and 2K markups on them. Good evening. Hey, what's up, Z-Fly? Cherry bombs. Yeah, hell yeah. That's tell you what, my first car was a 1984 Pontiac Parisienne station wagon with the roof cut off, painted camouflage. Yeah, drove that to high school. It had a 5-liter in it, and I cut the mufflers off and put cherry bombs on it. So, what's up, Black Magic? I think I know who you are, but I don't know your name. Thank you for answering questions. Good night, Rami. Thanks for sticking around. I'm going to try to have an actual video this weekend. Sweet. I'm in at 545 for 36 months. Okay, 1,500 down, fully loaded, plumb crazy, 4K total negative equity on a wrecked. Oh, then you got a pretty good deal. Yeah, if you're into that with 4K negative, yeah, not bad at all. Seeing a lot of Hellcats hitting dealers on return now too. Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I'm just talking about new cars. Buying a used one, as long as it was taken care of, there's nothing wrong with that, because, you know, somebody else took the depreciation for you. That's fine. But, you know, buying a new performance car, I mean, you're just going to get hit so hard on depreciation. Now, if you plan on, there's nothing wrong with buying new cars. If you legit plan on keeping the thing forever. I used to be like that. I guess when I got my SRT4, it was the baddest thing I'd ever had, and I kept it for a decade, and I love that car. But I'm a techie, and I love the new tech. I love all the new stuff that's going to come out in the cars. And as soon as I got out of that car and into my first new car, I've had 4 new cars since then, and it's only been like 5 years. So I'm like, okay, I got to stop this. Maybe I should look into leasing, because it kind of holds you in, but then you get a good deal. And I saw the people getting the good deals, and I'm like, well, shit, if I can work out one of those deals, I need to do this. And I did it. So I'm sold on leases now. Shoot, just leased a brand new Pacifica for the wife and I, and pay less than the Hellcat for a $50,000 fully loaded Pacifica. So, and then in 3 years, I can get a new one. Never have to worry about warranty. Never have to worry about paying an extra extended warranty. I mean, what's the downside? Nothing hero about it. Message retracted. Why you be retracting your messages? I steal a smarter lease Hellcat first and finance it after. Yeah. It's hard to keep a Hellcat for long. It's a special car and it costs a lot. Yeah. Okay, so I actually did get my Hellcat at another dealer. I know, go sue me, right? So, yeah, I did. And I explained that in my video that actually got me to where I am today. And one of my, I don't know, it didn't really go viral, but I mean, it got me my subscribers. How I pay $500 a month for a Hellcat. I tell the whole story in there that I actually got it from another dealer. And it was the main reason, honestly, was because we didn't have it. We didn't have the Hellcat on the lot. So if we had one and we ordered it, I could have got the discounts on it. But since if we were to buy it from another dealer and just buy it, not trade, we don't get any of the back money, like holdback and bonus money, which is what they usually use to give employees discounts and things like that. So I'd be paying invoice for it, and there's no way that I'd be able to afford it, or it'd want to be, in my budget. So I found a aged unit that had just been sitting on a dealer's lot for, I think it was almost 8 months. And they just wanted to get rid of it, because they're paying interest on it. And it was a weird color combo, being the indigo blue with the red interior. So maybe a lot of people weren't buying it. And I came along with an offer and they took it. So that's how it works. Yeah, persistence, like Taylor says, persistence is key. It took me 10 dealers, to email and call and, finally found one that would work with me. Thanks for correcting my name. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Eric. Yeah, I knew I saw you pop in on the last one, and I can't keep track of everybody's tag names and stuff like that. Good to see you back on the channel. I've been going a little bit longer on this one. I'm just kind of like whatever, because the other ones I usually do during the week, and I got to get to bed and get to work in the morning. But I don't work tomorrow morning, so I'm just kind of hanging out. Closed her closet. So my daughter is funny. She's 2.5 years old, and if she's not OCD at all, but she's got to have everything perfect to go to bed. And I don't know if anybody else's toddlers are like that. Her closet door was open, so that's why she was crying. She came out because she wanted her closet door closed. Okay, but she's good now. It's being shipped from out of state, Georgia. Took me 9 months to save $5,000. Pick your battles. Okay. All right, guys. Well, if anybody has any more questions, just hit me up. I might be dipping out here pretty soon. I appreciate everybody coming to the channel. Be sure to subscribe. Turn on the notifications. Hook me up. I'm actually going to be doing, I think what I'm going to start doing is maybe doing a little, I've been talking about doing a giveaway. I'm going to see if once this video is posted, if I can do one of those random giveaway things on this. If not, check out my newest video, which should be coming out Sunday. I haven't even figured out what I'm going to be doing yet, but I got a couple ideas, and I will do a little giveaway on that video. But I think I'm going to start doing like some swag giveaways on the live streams. if it'll let me do it where I can pick a winner randomly, because I want it to be fair. I can't even see that. I don't know what I just did. Okay, but I think if the chat sticks around, I can pick people that have commented. And I'll start giving them really some swag. Yeah, no problem, John. Thanks for coming on this live stream. And if you guys have friends, make sure to share the channel, get the word out there. I enjoy doing this for you guys, and the more people that watch it, the more people can support me. With your driving experience, would you say it's a must-have option for adaptive dampening suspension bearing? Okay. I'll be completely honest about the adaptive dampening suspension now that I actually have it on my Hellcat, because I had the Scat Pack without it. I would only get it if you plan on going around corners. Ever. And I mean that not just going around corners, because the car is going to handle okay going around corners at relatively high speeds. But I'm saying if you're not actively going, all right, man, I'm going to go out to the back roads and hit up these curves, I'm going to carve some curves tonight, it's not worth it. I wouldn't really worry about it too much, because most of these cars are built for straight line performance. You're going to be out on the highway, you're going to be hitting it, and you're going to want that track modes, transmission. But the minute the suspension's in, you're and your teeth are coming out over every little bump. So it's great for if you're on a track. But if you really don't plan to autocross this thing or, run it on an actual track, I really don't think it's been that big of a deal. I mean, I've never used it. The only thing that I plan to use it for is with I have the Taser, and you can program the adaptive cruise control buttons to a certain thing in the Taser or a certain mode. So I'm going to have track mode, auto mode, custom mode right at my thumb tips. And that way, if I'm about to hit a corner, I can just pop it into track mode real quick. But I mean, day-to-day use, nah, I mean, the adjustable suspension really isn't that big of an option, to be quite honest. Thank you for what's your driving? Okay. How popular is the Plum Crazy? It's not that popular, and it was actually on my list. I love the Plum Crazy. I've just always been a big loud color guy, though. I love blue. Blue's my favorite color. So if I can find a good looking blue, which indigo blue is, it's like the perfect blue. I love it. But I love the loud colors. I love the Go Mango. It's loud. Every time I see an old picture of my car, I'm like, damn, that thing looked good. Because I mean, you can just see it from a mile away, and I love that. The hot colors, the Plum Crazy, even the Green Go. I'd rock a Green Go as long as you can break it up. Those really hot colors, the bright ones, the yellows, and the purple's a little bit. You can get away with just solid purple. I like putting something to break them up, some kind of vinyl, stripes, whatever, just to kind of to tone it down just a little bit. Looks really good. Add some contrast. I think it looks great. So I love the Plum Crazy personally. I would drive it in a freaking heartbeat. And it was on the list when I was looking for Hellcats. It was Plum Crazy, Indigo Blue, Go Mango, and freaking the Green Go was kind of the last, resort. Oh yeah, I didn't even tell everybody. I should have mentioned that on the live stream. I actually sold the Redeye. Yes, I did. I got delivered today. So that was pretty cool. I made the video about the Hellcat Redeye and actually sold it legit from the video. Some guy in Miami found the video and he just called in. So that's pretty cool. We actually did the whole deal over the phone and email and text, and sent the guy with the paperwork, and we're actually getting in a 2016 Hellcat Challenger manual with 856 miles on it. He had knee surgery shortly after he got the car, and then he basically couldn't drive it. So it's been sitting in his garage the whole time. It's red. So if anybody's looking for a super low mileage, probably the lowest mileage 2016 Hellcat, you know, in the state, hit me up. So yeah, sold that. It's pretty cool. Now I can tell my now I can tell my manager, see, my YouTube videos are working. You plan on getting a PCM TCM tune for the Hellcat? No, not really. Not anytime soon, because it voids the warranty, and you know, I just kind of want to keep that for what that would do for me. I just want to keep it stock as far as that goes. Now there was a guy that I've known for a really long time that says he can tune it by adjusting the fuel maps like nothing's ever happened. So he uses what's that place called? Not Diablo, but what's the other tuner program? HP Tuners. He uses HP Tuners, and supposedly he can get in there, and if I ever need to take it in for service, he can put it back to factory to where it doesn't look like anything's ever been touched. I might look into that, but it's not really on the list. And of course, the other side of that would be, if I did that, it would be because I added a pulley. But that I don't want to get into right now because it's just kind of early. It's got plenty of power. I would do some other things before I get into tuning it and stuff like that would break my warranty. Why are the leases on the 2019 Dodge Challenger wide body so expensive? Are you talking about the Hellcats? Doesn't matter. Either way, the thing is, the wide bodies are $6,000 more MSRP than anything else. So, you know, everyone's used to these lease prices for the cars. Well, tack on $6,000, $30 per thousand. Okay. It's almost $200 more a month just because it's wide body. So that should answer your question. That's why they're so expensive. The Redeye was almost 80. I think it's stickered for 86 and change, and we sold it for 83. You're right at 83. Yeah, it was a wide body. How do I feel about Octane Red? I feel pretty good about it. No, I do really like it. You know, it was that color looks good on everything. You know, it's one of those colors that I wouldn't personally order. Would I drive it if there was a good deal? Yes, because it does look good, but it's not my style, but it does look good. The color looks good on everything, though. To be honest, I actually ordered a Durango RT for my wife in Octane Red. I think it looks great on trucks, great on SUVs, and it just looks good on everything. It really is a nice color. But again, I like louder colors or blue. So anyway, I like it. Color is holding the best value. I haven't really looked into the color thing because colors really don't play in like a ton of value unless it's something really odd, you know, like of course the color depends on the car too. I mean, you got a Hellcat, people want a Hellcat because they want a Hellcat. Their loud colors work for those cars. But if you're trying to sell a yellow Chrysler 300, well, you're going to have some issues. You know what I'm saying? So the color thing on these hot rods doesn't really affect it too much for resale. I wouldn't worry about that too much. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, it probably could. A Hellcat lease, a good Hellcat lease could probably hover around a Scat Pack wide body lease right now. Wouldn't doubt it. highway cruiser actually did have a scat pack. Yeah, I mean, I had a scat pack. I traded the scat pack in for the Hellcat only because I was getting such a good deal. I ended up paying, I was paying $465 or $470 a month buying my scat pack for 84 months, and got the Hellcat for $500 a month. So it's kind of a no-brainer to me. But dude, scat pack, I recommend the scat pack to everybody if you're buying a car specifically. It is, I think it's one of the best value for the money out there right now. I mean, if you put my stock Hellcat next to my stock scat pack and ran 0 to 60, probably 9 times out of 10 the scat pack would beat it, just because it could actually get somewhat traction. And I actually never even put 305s on it. I would really like to see what it would do with some tires like I have now. The best I put on those were, I got a really good deal on the Hellcat wheels. So I had 275 per LAP zeros, but it would still light them up a little bit. Scat Pack's awesome. I think if you're going to buy a car, Scat Packs are great. They're such a good all-around car. They have, the only thing that you're going to notice the difference between a Hellcat and a Scat Pack is top end. You're going to have Scat Pack and a Hellcat to, 1/8 of a mile. And then after that, the Hellcat will slowly walk away from the Scat Pack. But let me look at the quarter mile numbers. People are hitting 11.9s on a good day in the Scat Packs, and people with a Hellcat on a good day are, high 10s. The best I ever got in my Scat Pack was an 11.3. So I mean, a Hellcat. So it's like, really, what are you, less than a second apart in the quarter mile, and you're paying $30,000 more for that? No thanks. But let me tell you, over 100 miles an hour, that Hellcat is nuts. It just does not let up. That thing is insane. I'll never forget riding and being in track mode out to the track one time in Bradenton, and just in Mexico. I was the shift at 120 miles an hour still sets you back in the seat. It's just insane. Can't believe you can just walk into a dealership and buy that thing. Yellow 300, yeah, maybe in the hood. Yeah. Joseph, I have a 39-month lease with FCA. Do you think when I'm down to about 6 months left, dealers will be willing to work with me, or should I just go the whole 39 months? Joseph, that all depends on the car you have and the deal that you got. And to explain that a little bit more, if you got some time, go back and check out some of my other videos on leasing. I have one called What You Don't Know About Leasing, 1 and 2. And that'll kind of explain what you can do in your situation. During a lease, you always have a payoff, just like you're buying a car, and your car is worth just what it's worth, just like if you were buying it. So you can always compare those two numbers and get out of the lease whenever you want to, if the dealer is willing to buy it from you. So let's just say you've had the car for, I'm down to about 6 months left. You already have a 39-month lease. Do you think when I'm down to 6 month lease? Depends on where you're at. If you're halfway through the lease, you can look at, you ask the dealer that you got it from, or the bank that you bought it from, what your buyout is. So if it's Chrysler Capital, you just call Chrysler Capital and say, hey, what's my dealer buyout? And they'll say, oh, it's 25 grand. You go to kellybluebook.com and look up what your car is worth. Oh, your car is worth 26 grand. Well, now you've got actually $1,000 in equity, or vice versa. If it's only worth $24,000, well, you're only $1,000 upside down, instead of having to pay off the rest of your car or pay off the rest of the payments, which if you're paying $500 a month and you've got, 18 payments left, well, you don't have to pay all that money. You can just pay $1,000 to get out of it. So I go into a little bit more detail on that in my videos, so you should go check them out. So you don't have to wait till 6 months. It all depends on the deal that you got when you first bought the vehicle or first leased it, and what you got the lease for, what your residual value is, what your payment, what the vehicle is, what the market is on the vehicle at that current time, all that stuff. How fast are people burning through tires? Well, it depends on how much they're how much they're doing burnouts. Okay, so you can see probably in a couple of my videos, if you watch my Hellcat ones, you got to do a couple of burnouts. I do some donuts and stuff like that. Well, after I think it was 1,800 miles, maybe 1,500 miles, my back tires were pretty sketchy already. So it does not take long, especially those all seasons. They don't hold grip at all. So basically every single time you're trying to pull out in front of traffic or you punch it below 50, you're spinning the tires, even though you don't really mean to. So even though you're not doing a burnout, you are technically burning some of the rubber off. So they didn't last very long. But I mean, I got Nitto 555Rs on there now, and they hook really good. So I hope they last. I'll be happy, honestly, if they just last a year. I don't care. The oil change is synthetic, if I'm not mistaken. So that really all depends on the dealer. But for me, I think it was like, I don't know, like $50 or $60. But I've seen some get upwards of maybe 80. Tire changes. I don't know if you mean actually literally changing your tires or tire rotation, but rotation usually is complimentary. If not, should be less than $20 if they're going to balance the wheels too. Convinced me to buy a 2019 Charger Hellcat. Good. I'm glad. Scat Packs, wide body Scat Packs 305s, best challengers ever. Yeah. Sorry if I missed, but can you say how long the current lease rates are good for? Yeah. Until they change them again. But usually, here's the thing. They're usually going to change them a couple times during the month, but the current rates are always at least good through the rest of the month unless they change them. So that would be, usually it's a couple days over. So let me see what they're saying. Yeah, actually, this one's just through the 31st. So if nothing else changes, it's through the 31st of January. Where do I get my data from? I'm an internet sales manager for a Dodge dealer, so I just have access to all the tools needed. Chrysler Capital posts their rates, and that way we can figure out leases and everything, and I just kind of share it with everybody. Wow, I can't believe I'm going on an hour and 45 minutes, and I still have 15 people listening to me BS. Hey, Larry, what's up? Late. I can't believe I'm actually still here. Look at me. It's been an hour and 43 minutes, and people are still talking to me. I can't believe it. And like, I might need to get another beer. That one went down a lot easier than the first one. This might be a 3-beer live stream. I'm good with that. 11:16. Okay, hang on. Let me catch up on these comments here. 2015 Scat Pack with 18,000 miles for $34K. Give me just a second, and I'll look that up. 2015. Did you already buy it? And what Scat Pack is it? Challenger or Charger? Charger, and I haven't bought it. Okay, good. Because I hate to tell people whether they got a good deal or a bad deal after they already bought it. Scat Pack with 18,000 miles for what? 34K? Meh. Where are you at? What state? Minnesota. Northeast. I wouldn't say it's a good deal. What is it, 34K? I mean, that's about where they should be starting it for retail. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3. But 33 is where you should shoot for, I would say. Of course, it depends on the options. Is it loaded, or is it pretty base? To get a more accurate number, I'd have to have the VIN number. But the auction price is about 31, and usually a $2,000 markup would be a decent profit to where nobody's going to complain. And but usually it's about 3 is where they start. So you should be able to negotiate another grand, I would think, in all fairness. Yeah, I just really read your comment. You got a great deal, bro. Also, what are your projections for 2019? What kind of projections are you talking about? Do I change the oil myself? Highway Cruiser says, hell no. The only reason I say that is because I just don't have time. Yes, I do know how to change my oil. Yes, I have changed my oil in the past. And I'll tell you what, when you work 50, 60 hours a week and you've got 2 kids and you have no time, paying somebody a few bucks to do it for you, and you don't have to get your fingers greasy, and you don't have to find somewhere to jack the car up and then find somewhere something to do with the oil, and you got to put the oil somewhere, and then you got to transport it to dump the oil, and too old for that shit. I pay somebody to do it. I pay somebody to mow my yard. Hell, there's a point where I paid somebody to clean my house. Yeah, I just there's certain things where I have a free time, and changing oil is not one of them that I do anymore. To the giveaway now. Now, what it does is I have a program on the YouTube, and on my YouTube channel that basically goes through comments and picks one of the random people from the comments. So that's what I'm going to try to do whenever it's done. And I said, if not, then just check out my newest video and comment on it, and I'll do it there. Oh, Jay, I spoken like a true Floridian. I don't know which part, but I wish the Magnum was coming back. I'll tell you what, I have a soft spot for wagons, and I think a lot of guys do. I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you what, if the Magnum came back and it even halfway looked decent and they stuck like the Hellcat engine in it, I would be selling whatever I needed to sell to get that thing. I really, really hope they do come back with it. Yeah, did you know, before I bought my Hellcat, I actually was looking at some SRT Magnums, because it's like I had like $8,000 or something that I could play with as far as like a down payment. And I was like, well, shoot, I could almost buy an SRT Magnum and then just trick it out or whatever, and then not have a car payment. And, I did toy with that idea, but I just said, then it didn't have warranty, and I like the newer thing, and God, I cannot get over the interior. I cannot get over the interior of the older Chargers and Challengers, like the first gens. Blech. They're just terrible. So I just don't think I couldn't get past it. But love the outside. I love the Magnums. I really, really hope they come out with a Magnum again. Think it's worth trading in a regular Hellcat for a wide body Redeye? No. I don't know if you're coming in late to it, but I went over this before. I don't think a Redeye is worth the money for the difference in horsepower, especially if you own it. If you're buying it, if you've already taken the hit on the depreciation, you need to just buy a pulley and a tune, and you'll have more horsepower than the Redeye. It's not worth it. It's not worth the $11,000 difference from a Hellcat. I have my money here for a Magnum Hellcat. Yeah, I know, right? Still look for those. What about the buzz on FCA relaunching the CUDA? You know, it's unfortunate. I don't, being at the dealer, unfortunately, they don't tell you anything. Everybody online knows everything before the people at the dealer do. So I haven't really dove deep into the whole CUDA thing yet. You know, I keep hearing about it and everything, but you know, the dealer is the last person to know. You know, I worked at Verizon. It was the same thing. People used to always ask me about the cell phones coming out and stuff like that. And I didn't have a clue. I did because I did look online, but that was the only reason why. All the people on the forums and all that stuff, they're all going to know more than anybody at the dealer. So I can't really, you know, comment on that. I have no idea what they're doing. Look up the VIN to tell an invoice. That looks like a really long VIN number. You sure you got the right VIN number there? It's supposed to only be 17 numbers or characters. Verify that for me real quick, would you? Yeah, man, if we could all have Magnums, that'd be the junk. I bought mine used. Someone else took the depreciation hit. You know, I wouldn't do it because then you're starting over, man, and they're expensive. Hey, yo, if money's no object, dude, yo, do whatever you want. But, you know, if you're even slightly, you know, don't own your house and everything else in the world, then I wouldn't bother with it. Get a pulley and a tune and build your Hellcat, man. They easily smoke Redeyes, you know, unless you, yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're worth it. Don't get me wrong. They're bad A. If you're a guy who's just like, I want my warranty, you know, blah, blah, blah. I can afford this. I want it. I want the best thing I can buy for the money and still have warranty, keep it stock. Sure. The Redeyes are awesome. I just don't think it's worth the extra money over a regular Hellcat. It is 17. God, the VIN numbers really look that long on this chat. Hang on, I'll tell you here in just a second. My bad. Oh, geez. Maybe it's the beers. No, I need another one. I'm going to keep talking to you guys. What is it? Scat Pack? It's 51047. One more beer. Yeah, I'm about to. If y'all keep talking to me, I'm glad to go get another beer and just run this thing into midnight. What do you think? 17. I have about 8,500 for down payment. 630 credit. Could I lease a Hellcat? Excuse me. With 630 credit, it's going to be tough. It's all going to come down to your credit history. Now, the thing is there, by the time you actually do get a lease on it, if they do it, your tier is going to be so high that you're probably going to be better off just buying a used one, because your tier is going to be so high. And plus, you just don't want to put $8,500 down on a lease. You just don't want to do it. I would much rather you put $5,000 down on a used one, save the $3,500 for an unforeseen repair or something like that, than put that much money down on a lease. Because I don't know if you were here earlier, but if something happens during the lease where the vehicle's totaled or stolen, you don't get that money back. It's gone, done. At least if you bought it and something happens, you've got gap insurance, you've got regular insurance, you've got, you can file for depreciation, you know, with the insurance company. So diminished value is what I'm trying to do with my Hellcat right now. I really wouldn't recommend doing it. if you have that credit score. You can always try. You can always go in, and I wouldn't do that much money down. But you can just say, hey, I want to try to do a lease. What's my lease payment? All that good stuff, and see what they come back with, and then just compare it to buying one. That's really the advice I would give you, man, honestly. Joseph says, when it's time, I mean, my back's sweating. When it's time, is it possible to buy or lease from me and have my local dealer do a courtesy delivery? We did a few of those when I worked for Toyota. I don't know if Dodge still does. Yeah, I've heard about it. Obviously, we don't do a ton of them or any, but I have heard of that being a possibility. I know buying it, we could probably do that when you want to order it. But if it's buying one that's local here, I can always, or if you want to order it from me, I can have it shipped to you or drop shipped to your dealer or whatever, and they do a courtesy delivery or whatever they want to do. So yeah, we could try to work something out. I don't know if you saw my email or not, but it's Quick09. It's you can do the channel name as well at Gmail. I do have that one, but the short version is Quick09 at Gmail, and you can just hit me up there and we can discuss something. Did you say one more beer one time? There is 16 people. I do need another beer. Would you guys want to hang out and chat for like another minute while I get another beer and maybe hit the head for just a second? And then I'll probably keep this going if people are still here till maybe midnight. Then I'm probably going to have to go to bed. But because I'm so lightweight. Beer. All right, there's a couple more questions. All right, so I'll be back. Give me just a minute, guys. Here we are. I went ahead and replenished the mug. Look at that thing. Nice and icy. Give you guys a full effect here. Oh, yeah. Can you hear it? Scavex 999 University Dodge. I wonder if that's the shitheads that I dealt with. No, that was Rob Lambden's. Dude, don't buy from Rob Lambden's. They're tools over there. I'm sorry. I was trying to talk to them about getting a deal on a Hellcat. He made it seem like Hellcats were like, bro, you're never going to get that money on a Hellcat, bro. You're never, I don't know what you, dude, we're the #1 SRT dealer in the state, blah, 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 blah. Fucking tools. Oof, I cussed. I'm sorry. Dang it. It's the beers. That was the beers. I let that one slip. I'm sorry. And I said, you know what? There's plenty of people that have got these deals out there. So I know it can be done. And and the thing is, even though he would cut the conversation off, he would text me like the next day. He was like, yo, my manager's willing to do this, bro. And it was like nothing great. And I was like, okay, whatever, man. Have a great day. Oh, you know what they do there too is they use bump stickers, those bastards. You know, I don't like people that are just stupid, super shady. They use bump stickers, and if you know what that is, basically they see, because this is how they do that. They make the MSRP actually higher than what it is, and then give a massive discount to make it seem like you're looking at all these discounts, right? And you're like, oh, this guy's got $2,000 off, $2,000 off, $2,000 off. Then you come to their website and it's fucking $6,000 off. Did it again. It's not because they're giving you more of a discount. It's because they made the MSRP higher than what it is. That should be illegal. Gosh, it just irks me. And that's what they do. Okay. And that's not cool. And it's just because I deal with it every day. You know, we're trying to be honest and straightforward dealers, just trying to make a living and be fair to everybody. And, you know, these are the people that we have to fight every day. So anyway, yeah, you know, university, where are they? I gotta look at that. I forget what they are. They might be okay. Broward called me, told me to Chargers and Challenger scat packs for $1,000 down, $450 a month. I think it's a bunch of crap. Straight up, you know, you don't know exactly what they're doing until you get an out the door or buyer's order, or you're actually there. Because then they'll probably be like, oh, well, that's not including destination fee and $49.99 down and dealer fee. And, you know, all of a sudden, you know, it becomes a lot more than what they advertised. Chris Dupree is asking, can you confirm the new Chargers? I've seen some videos saying Dodge is making a new model in the future and calling them Angels. You probably watched. What is it? Driveway Demons or something? What is it? What's that guy's name? Driveway Demons or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think he was wrong. I mean, he's right on a lot of stuff, but he was wrong about the 392 going away. I mean, I can still order one right now. So I don't know what he's talking about. And no, I can't confirm or deny or anything about the new Chargers. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a new Charger eventually, obviously, because they say there is. And it's selling too damn good for them not to keep it around. Which it's like, I don't understand why everybody got rid of their cars. You know, it's like they're still selling. Hello, just don't make shit boxes. Make things that are good. Anyway, I really hope they do. Yeah, it'd be great for them to make that wide body bad A elephant Charger. You know, got two kidneys. I can already sell one. But I don't know anything about it. So chat called a beer with Luke. Hey, that's fine. I could do that and just do it on Saturday night. I try to get everybody, Larry, to join in on me, but it'd be cool if I could just like see you guys for a minute and be like, hey, cheers, whatever. Yeah, it treated you like a piece of meat. Yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe what some dealers get away with. It's just nuts. Yeah, Rob Lambdins. Yeah, they're just like, oh, we're all those. You know, and there's other dealers out there too. It's not even Dodge stuff. It's just dealers in general. I was looking at the Kia Stinger. Okay, it's a cool car. You know, twin turbo V6, all wheel drive. I was looking around at it, and the Fusillo Kia. It's huge. I guess he's pretty nationwide. They don't even have their prices listed online. And if you call to get a price, they won't even give it to you. They literally will not give you a price online. You have to come there. They don't even care. They don't care to lose your business. I was like, wow, that's kind of crappy of you guys. You seriously want to lose my business over not giving me a price online? I'm 3 hours away or whatever I said. I'm not going to come up there if I don't know what I'm going to be buying. They don't care. They won't even give you close to a price over the phone. So it's kind of crazy what they do there. They get you in there. They get you in there. They show you everything. They wear you out, and they finally try to give you a deal on whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know how they work, but and it had no mirror caps. Excuse me, I wouldn't doubt it, man. Play on the pair. Oh yeah, Rob Lambden is university. That's okay. That's what I thought. Yeah, they're trash. Yeah, hit me up. You got my email. It was up there some way. I'll find you one. I'll find you one or order you one. No big deal. 2016 Challenger Scat Pack, and I want the wide body and a Lease. I know 2016 is planned. Okay. Yeah, we'll hook you up. John, I'm working with another dealer who's going to do a trade with them. Just don't have to deal with them. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times we don't even trade with Rob Lambden because they're just that way. So they won't even trade with us. Oh, well, guys, I showed you that I had peanuts, and you didn't even tell me to eat my peanuts. What's wrong with you? That's what I've been missing. Now we're good. Hopefully you can't hear me crunching, because I know a lot of people like that bothers them. Tell me if you can hear me. Trash. That was my thoughts on this on the P0s. Look, they're not trash, but they pretty much are. They're one of the best all-around tires you can get. That's the thing. But most people want to go in a straight line with the Hellcats. And they're not good for that. They're one of the best tires that you can get for the combination of wet traction, dry traction, cornering, straight line traction, all that stuff, right? So it's one of the better all-around tires. But if you want a tire that just gets you from point A to point B as fast as you can, it's not that tire. Yeah, man, I'll help you order one. Hit me up. You got my email. Durango SRT looking incentive-wise, not the greatest. So they have good numbers as far as the grab your nut. They have a good residual. Sorry, they have a good money factor, but the residual value is and then they're expensive. So that's the bad thing about Durango SRTs. So they end up being ridiculously expensive to lease. They are not a good lease vehicle. But I'll pull it up for you in case you're getting a number from a dealer and you want to pay for it anyway. Like, they're going to be more than a Hellcat. You know, Durango SRT is going to be way more than a Hellcat lease all day. But if you're willing to pay that for one, then I'll at least give you the numbers on them, since, you know, I'm still here and I got a fresh beer. All the 2018s are unresidualized, or are not incentivized anymore. That's definitely the beer talking. Okay, so a 2019 Dodge Durango SRT. See, the money is good, so it's 0.00013, but the residual value is 47% at 15,000 miles a year. So to get to 50%, you'd have to have a 10,000 mile lease, and then the fact that they're like 70 something grand, 65 to 70 grand, they're not going to lease that great. What that number is, I can't tell you right now. Excuse me, but if you want to shoot me an email with a VIN number or something like that, I can do an actual lease for you on Monday. There's no incentives ever on SRTs, really. So it's just the lease numbers that are going to, or the money factor and the residual value that are going to be incentivized. Travis says, what are your thoughts on Michelin Pilot's Sport 4S? I don't really have a thought. I've never had an experience, and I don't want to sit here and BS you. Although I have heard really good things about them. So I'd say that they're like kind of like the step up from the Pirelli P0s, but they're still kind of more of a like an all-around type tire, or more of a carving corners tire, if that makes sense. They're still not like the best for straight line traction. So again, it really just depends on what you're trying to do. It's going to come down to a damn drag radial, to be honest. I mean, I have Nitto and NT555Rs, and I think they're great. But again, it depends on what you're trying to do. Will there ever be a great deal on Trackhawk? I hope so, man. I hope they start leasing those things. You know, if they start sitting around on the lots for too long, I don't know if they're going to wait too long, or then they're not going to incentivize them. And then they're going to be like, they're going to either just stop making them, or B, they're going to be like, okay, well, maybe we should start making these decently leasable. So we'll see. I don't know, though. Obviously, I can't predict the future on them, but let's hope. Mm-hmm. Well, all right, let me look. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I can work a deal for somebody in California. It just might not be 100% accurate because of the taxes and stuff like that and any fees the dealer might want to put on, but it'll be relatively close. I'm looking up that VIN or invoice. 20 people. God, what the hell are you guys doing listening to me? Jeez. 42,972 is the invoice. It's usually a couple grand less. Taylor says 11.9s with the scat. What tires? I mean, I think they're basically running drag radials. A lot of people use the Bravado 10.5-inch by 18-inch wheels, and then putting 305 drag radials, you name it, NT and NT05Rs, Mickey Thompsons, but it's definitely a drag radial. But I mean, that's a solid number for a freaking under $40,000 car, and that big too. That heavy. Such a fun car. I love my Scat Pack. Driveway demons. That's what I said, wasn't it? I don't know. You guys got to help me get above him. We got to get my sub count up. I'll let my wife drive the Hellcat. What are her thoughts? Her thoughts are absolutely zero. She doesn't give a shit. She's not a car person at all. And I know you're sitting here going like, what? You married someone like that? But yeah, she gives 0 Fs about cars. She uses them straight up A to B. Could care less about them. When we met, she was okay. I'm going to give you a little, because you probably haven't seen her. Okay. So hang on. And I'll show you her then what she actually drove when I met her. Okay. 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 If you can see this is my wife. Focus. Focus. Won't focus. Why doesn't it focus on that? I want to tap the screen so I can try to focus. Anyway, you know, there it is. See, cute little blonde girl, right? Okay, so she was driving we met a decade ago, so in 09. She was driving a 99 Ford Escort stick with no air conditioning in Florida, if that tells you anything. And she worked at a cosmetology supply store, which deals with beauty all day. And I felt so bad for her because I'm like, why are you driving a POS with no air conditioning? And like, it's your job to serve people that make people look good all day. So, anyway, she doesn't care about cars. It's gets her to A to B and that's it. So I think she's ridden my Hellcat once, maybe. And she's one of those people that doesn't like the racing thing either. So like anytime before I started getting her nicer cars and things like that, before we got married and all that and stuff, my car was always the nicer car. Well, it was my SRT4. So we would always take it to go out of town and things like that. Well, of course, I'd see some racer or somebody try to race me, and I would be the one trying to race, and she's the one going, stop it. And she's the one like hitting me on my shoulder, telling me to slow down. So, yeah, she doesn't care about cars. But anyway, I think she only rode my Scat Pack a couple times too. Every time I come home with a new car, she just like rolls her eyes. But she lets me do whatever, so I don't complain. So I love her for that. A lot of folks buying, leasing the Scat Pack wide body. I don't know because I have not sold one yet. They're so new. I haven't had a whole lot of inquiries yet on the Scat Pack wide body. I was going to say Escort. Yeah. When leasing it, Chris says, when you are leasing a car, do you have to keep the mileage down? If so, how do you keep it down in a Hellcat? I wouldn't be able to stay out of it. No, that's true. And I don't stay out of it. I'm lucky enough to live in a town where everything is within 5 miles, basically, it seems. And I live 2 miles from work. So I'm lucky in that aspect. And, excuse me. Yeah, leasing goes with mileage per year. So 10,000 miles a year, 12,000 miles a year, 15,000 miles a year. And that's what judges the price of your lease. I did 10,000 miles a year because every single car I had before this, I barely drove 7,000 miles a year if I was pushing it. And that's when I was taking my car out of town. Well, now that I buy, we have the kids, if we're going out of town, well, we're taking her car because it's usually the SUV, or now we have a Pacifica. So even more miles are going to be staying off my car. I've had my car since the end of July, and I think I maybe have 3,000 miles on it. Maybe. So I don't drive a whole lot, so leasing makes sense for me. But yeah, I mean, you kind of want to keep the mileage down, but that doesn't mean you can't put it to the floor. I have my trip to work is basically going out a side road, hitting the main highway, accelerating to 60. And if there is one light, if I hit that light, I have to accelerate to 60 one more time, and I'm at work. If I don't hit that light in another 10 seconds, I'm at work. So you could better believe that every single time I pull out onto the highway, I'm pretty much flooring it. Because that's the only time I get to do it. But these cars were designed to do it, and my Scat Pack, I love it. I loved it. You could drive it. I loved driving it to the track with car seat in the back, and stuff in the trunk and blowing people away down the track, hopping back in it, putting on my butt coolers and my XM radio, and then driving home. You know, it's just, I love that about cars. And it's even more with the Hellcat. Now I can now, last time I smoked a Corvette, a brand new C7 with 2 people in the car, a car seat, and stuff in my trunk. So so it's just funny to be able to do stuff like that. I love the car. I drove Beetle, was my second car. I had a 78 Beetle. It was also painted camouflage. That's where I learned stick on, actually. I learned to drive a stick in a Beetle. Not allowed to drive a Hellcat. Yeah, I mean, she's not a car person, but she doesn't care about what I do, and she's not in here bugging me either. So, you know, it's worth a lot. So I think I'll buy my car when the lease is up. You know, I'm going back and forth with that, and it's really all going to come down to what is out at the time. I'm leaning more towards probably not, but the only reason I think, and there's 2 reasons for this, or one reason or another. Reason why I would, nothing that I like at the time. And I would only buy it to continue to drive it until there was something else that I liked more. If that never comes along, then I'll keep it for as long as that happens. But if there is a new obviously they're going to be coming out with a new Charger. So if it's bad A and has all the new stuff and I want it, well, obviously I'm going to try to get that. You know, or who knows, there might be another car out there. It doesn't have to be a Dodge, but I am a Mopar guy. So I hope it would be a Dodge. But driving the Hellcat, you know, and again, before I bought this Hellcat, I was looking hard at all-wheel drive cars. I was really, really looking hard at all-wheel drive cars because, I mean, it's just crazy, the launch, you know, because like I said, a lot of my stuff is 0 to 60. You know, I want to pull out in front of I don't speed a lot, you know, so it's like I don't drive 130 everywhere. I just want to pull out in front of traffic and get there as soon as I can to like 70, you know, and be done with it. And it's tough to do that in Hellcat. So that just depends on what's out, what comes out. Did they fix it yet? Monday. So it's all done. The Hellcat is fixed today, but the paint went on today. So they got to let it cure, you know, or whatever. And they said they would just detail it. So it's basically going to be sitting all weekend. I wasn't too happy about it, but, you know, I really do miss it. So I won't be doing a video on that this weekend, but it might be on my rental car. Yeah. Oh, man. I'll never forget it, Eric. I was in my SRT4. And I was coming back from Orlando, and there was some ass in a big Dodge, you know, dually coal rolling, you know, pickup truck that thought he was quick. And he was like, you could hear his turbo next to me. And I went to downshift, and my wife punched me and started hitting me so hard. She's like, don't you dare. And I'm like, oh, what the heck? And like nobody hardly ever tried me, because by that time, a lot of people kind of knew what the SRT4s were, and they didn't really try me too much, I guess. But she didn't let me race that guy. I was kind of pissed. Yeah, 2 cars in the ride. Hey, man, just how old are you, Chris? Carlos, would you do the 309 gears? Yes, actually. That is something that I was actually looking into since day one, because the 28, you got a few more years. Keep working at it. I had 309s in the Scat Pack, and again, saying I'm not a top end person, so I don't really need the 262. I'm doing a lot of research on the 309s, and for the Scat Packs, it was the 390s. Some people put in the 390 gear to get that little edge, and I've really, really been considering the 309. to be quite honest, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, it doesn't do anything for you in the quarter mile. And I really could care less. They're like, if anything, it's nominal. You know, a tenth of a second or 2/10. I could really care less. You feel it though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the butt dyno, the 0 to 60, you know, that's where you're going to feel it. And that's where I want it. But I've also been going back and forth with the battle of traction, because I know right now, even with my 305 NT 555R drag radials, traction is still an issue. So I know if I put that 309 in there, it's only going to make that worse. So that's the battle I'm kind of having. Plus, I think everybody realized that they were popular, because back when I had the Scat Pack, they were all like $750 brand new from the dealer. I could go to my parts counter, have it warranted, 309, $750. Now they're like $1,300. I'm like, what the hell happened? I think it's because they realized that everybody wants them in the Hellcat, and then they bump the prices up. So I don't know. It's going to be probably something I will do though later down the road. Yeah, I talked about that a little bit earlier, Eric. I don't know nothing about the CUDA. Unfortunately, we don't know anything about that stuff at the dealer. We do not have any partners anywhere. We are a one-off, one and only Wales Motor Company since 1931. Unfortunately, it would be cool to have some partners though around the country. What am I doing? It's 2 hours and 25 minutes. What are you guys still doing here? Just kidding. I appreciate you guys. I do appreciate you guys, everybody that hangs out with me. You guys are awesome. I never thought that I'd actually have, you know, some subscribers follow me. I figure if I could just maybe offer something honest to that's worth a shit, other than just, you know, doing what everybody else is doing, it might be worth something to some people, and I'm glad it is. But I'm glad that this is just basically what I do on a daily basis. If one of you were to come to my website and click on a car, and we would have this conversation about any question you asked me, I'd be answering it the same way. So there's nothing I need to hide, or I don't need to feel like I'm doing something taboo, you know, or other dealers are going to get mad at me, you know, or whatever, because I could care less. You know, they're the ones that are being shady, not me. We're going to be selling our cars for the same price, and you know, we just try to make fair deals and treat everybody the way that we want to be treated, you know. So I'm glad I can do this for you guys. Whew, man, it's midnight. But it doesn't matter because I still got half a beer. Okay, so this is the time left we have in the in the live stream is right here. This is the what are those little sand timers? What are they called? Oh man. All right, well, if you guys are, I see a couple people fading away. It's been a long time. This has been the longest live stream. Nobody is going to watch this back. I'm going to go 2.5 hours. What in the hell were they talking about? What are your thoughts on the Alcantara steering wheel versus the leather one? Where do we have an Alcantara steering wheel? I'm trying to think what has an Alcantara. Are you just saying in general, or I don't know what we have that's an Alcantara steering wheel. Oh, the Demon has an Alcantara steering wheel? That might be something I just didn't remember. I'll say this. I haven't I haven't personally. It's an option on the SRT Challengers. Is it? Must be a new thing. Excuse me. I've felt a car with an Alcantara steering wheel, and it feels really good. And then of course I have the leather one, and I'm used to the leather stuff. I think it'd be a preference thing. I personally like the Laguna feel a little better. It's tough. That's a tough one. I think I like the Laguna a little bit better, only because it's like easier to, it doesn't absorb things as much, you know, like the Alcantara is more of a softer, clothy type material, and it can absorb things. So I think over time it wouldn't be as soft, and your sweat from your hands and things like that might crush it down a little bit, if you know what I'm saying. Whereas the Laguna is just going to be, you know, as long as you take care of it, it's going to be good for a long time. So I think I like the Laguna, but the feel of the Alcantara steering wheel is pretty cool. I'll tell you what I really like. I don't know why, but there's some that have like not the I guess it might be plastic, but like the wood trim. There's like wooden trim, but I guess it's probably just plastic. I kind of like that feeling. I don't know why, because it's super grippy because it's plastic. But like where the top part is like wood, just the top part. So like when you need to do a good one hand turnaround or whatever, it's super grippy. And I kind of like that too. Thoughts on extended warranties? I'm considering getting one for my Hellcat. They're good. They're good, man. As long as you don't plan on doing nothing to your car, it's like any other insurance. Yeah, I always tell this. I've been selling insurance for years, and I don't have to sell it because it's like all other insurance. If you ever need it, then it's worth it. But then if you never used it, well, then you just had a little bit of peace of mind, you know. So it's like all other insurance, except this one's optional. The thing is, usually they're what, $2,500, $3,000. If you have one major thing go wrong, I mean, anything, air conditioning, God forbid, the engine, transmission, the 8.4-inch Uconnect, you know, I mean, that's $2,000 right there. It pays for itself. So if you don't plan on doing any modifications, keeping it stock or whatever, just minor modifications, the warranties are good, especially if you plan on keeping it. You know, for the peace of mind, it's nice. And if you do have one major thing go wrong, you just paid for it. So I bought extended warranties on all my vehicles that I used to buy. But now that I lease, I don't have to worry about it. And that's one reason why I started leasing too, though. Of course, a lot of it with me is if I'm going to buy something and keep it for a long time, I'm probably not going to be worried about the warranty too much because I'm going to start modifying the crap out of it. So just all depends on the person. Yeah, I had that on a Volvo S80 years ago. I had that on a Volvo S80. I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, the steering wheel, maybe. Yeah, Volvos would do that. I could see that on a Volvo. John, I heard if you lease, the dealer pays the first year of service, and it's up to you. No, that's totally up to the dealer. The dealers are all going to have their own deals, whatever they want to do. For FCA, nothing's included anymore. That used to be like that. You used to get the first, I can't even remember now because it's been so long. You used to be able to get the first year or first 2 years of oil change. It might be the first year. You could get the first year of oil changes free, and then it's on your own. But it's not like that anymore. They stopped that in 2016. So if they are saying any of that, then it's on the dealer. But no, from Chrysler, you're on your own with all oil changes now. Mm-hmm. Wow. I just got a text from, the guy who delivered the Redeye, and he just said he made it back all good. And it's midnight. What the? Why would he be texting me at midnight? Good thing I'm up doing this. But so the Redeye is officially sold. That's cool. That didn't take long. I'm glad. And I'm glad I got to sell it so I can get credit for it too. Thanks a lot for time. Congrats on your newborn baby. Thank you. Look forward to your next video on the Hellcat. Yeah, me too, buddy. Hopefully it's next week because I won't have it till Monday. But see you then. Yep. Go to bed. Keep up the great content. Been sub for 3 months. Give me a shout out so I can go viral. Just playing people. All right, Chris. I'll see you later. Yeah, that was a good spec, right? I would have liked to have the Harman Kardon because I'm a audio guy, but he was an older guy and he said he doesn't care about it, which is who bought it as well. 67-year-old guy. He's like, I don't need bass in my NPR or whatever, some radio show that he listened to, and I was like, touche. So it's fine. All right, guys, have a good night. Cheers. Almost done here too. All right, Eric. I'll see you later, bud. What is it? Good night, San Diego, and go yourself. That was one of my favorite movies. All right. See you, John. See you, Jed. Later, Jill. See you, Larry. Didn't know if you were still watching or not. You enjoying that Hellcat? Did you ever paint your front lip? I'm going to have to pee at like 2 o'clock in the morning. You did paint it. Did you go with the orange or did you go with black? Oh, not yet. What were you saying yes for? Have you decided whether or not you're going to paint it orange? Yeah, I know it was just colorized, but you said you might do that or whatnot. I actually showed somebody else at the dealership, and they said it looked pretty cool. They liked it, so I thought it was neat. You know, if you've already got the orange thing going on, but I think it would look good either way in black or orange if you can get the colors to match. I think that'd be probably the hardest thing is to get the color to match. Not sure yet. All right. That's fine. Fair enough. I'm really hoping to order my vinyl here within the next few weeks. Yeah. Well, how they do is you can actually get this hat on my Mopar.com or something like that. It's only like $8, $8 or $12. It's actually pretty cheap. What they do is though they charge shipping. They charge shipping, but if the dealers buy like a lot at one time, which is what we do, they don't charge the shipping. So we do the hats in runs. So like you'll get, you know, he'll order 15 of these hats and 15 of these hats and 15 of these hats. And then once they're sold, they're gone. So, but yeah, you can still find this one. This is actually on, like I said, I think it's like Mopar or something like that, or Dodge swag.com or whatever it is. You can find it on there. This is my favorite Hellcat hat. This has been a really nice one. It's got the mesh stripes on the side. I think it's even got SRT on the back. Boom. Yeah. Yeah, it's a sweet hat. I like that one. It's comfortable too. So, but I've got a stupid amount of hats. It's one of those things that you just collect and you never get rid of your old hats. I've probably got 40 hats. How about the hashtag stripes? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The whole thing, Larry, looks good. Keep it. The stripes with the bumper, it's different. I've never seen anybody do something like that. I've seen them leave them yellow, which is stupid. And then I've seen some of them paint them black, or whatever, or matte gray to match, which is fine. But I mean, I think that orange would be different. So I think it'd be cool to do it. Highway Cruiser, you just said new Charger. What is that in reference to? All right, I'm probably going to be shutting down here, guys. The time is up. We've definitely made it a new record, though. I can't believe I've actually sat here for damn over 2.5 hours. It's pretty cool, though. Appreciate you guys hanging out. And again, check in with me probably Sunday. Probably release the video. And keep you updated with all the residuals whenever they release. Thanks for hanging out. Any last questions, hit me up. If not, I'll be shutting down. Excuse me. People are probably tired to hear me burp. All right, see you, Travis. All right, guys. Well, appreciate you hanging out. And I am probably going to end the transmission now. Oh. You tape them to my wall? Well, yours will be the first one. I've already got your picture, right? That'd be cool. Something different for the stream. Maybe I can get like a portable screen or something, and just whip out the wall of subscriber images. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. All right, guys. Well, it's been real. I'll catch you on the next one, probably Sunday. I'll see you on the video there. And don't forget to check that one out and comment, because I'll be trying to give away. I'll try and get one of these hats and then give it away there on that video. So make sure to comment on that video. And you guys have a good night, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.